The OPPO Find X5 Pro is finally a noteworthy flagship from OPPO. It's got a very impressive camera system that's co-developed with Hasselblad and supported by the company's self-developed Marry Silicon X MPU. It also looks absolutely stunning as a premium flagship and comes with all the bells and whistles you would want from a modern flagship. OPPO is definitely ready to take on Samsung and Apple with this phone, and here's my review after 2 weeks. Now let's start off with the cameras because this is what the Find X5 Pro is all about. The phone employs a triple camera system that comprises of two 50-megapixel Sony IMX766 sensors that does wide and ultra-wide angle photos and a 30-megapixel telephoto lens that does 2x optical zoom. But among them, only the main wide-angle lens comes with sensor shift OIS, while the ultra-wide angle lens can be used for macro shots similar to the iPhone 13 Pro. The camera app features an orange accent interface that's ported directly from the OnePlus 10 Pro and mimics a Hasselblad camera experience. The shutter click sound feels very satisfying every time you take a picture. There are two camera modes that I love, and they are the movie and X-Pan mode, which takes videos and photos respectively in an ultra-wide aspect ratio just like a Hasselblad camera. Though sadly on the X-Pan mode, you can't switch between lenses, which is kind of dumb, and I hope OPPO would just release a software update to fix that since it is more of a software feature rather than hardware dependent. Also, the camera app doesn't scan QR codes, and you will have to use Google Lens to do that, which is rather inconvenient considering we have to use that in most restaurants these days. One of the pain points OPPO wants to resolve by having the Marry Silicon X MPU is low-light photos and videos. I was pretty skeptical about it initially, but after trying it out along with a photographer friend of mine, the Find X5 Pro's main camera really delivers impressive low-light photos with incredible contrast, detail, and low noise levels. For instance, this photo is taken at a place with extremely dim light source. We put the phone on a tripod and set the ISO to the lowest and the shutter speed to 32 seconds. Though it is overexposed in some ways, the amount of detail on the trees and leaves are just incredibly well preserved considering it is taken from a small smartphone camera sensor. For casual point and shoots, the Find X5 Pro is definitely a capable device of delivering really good looking photos in most lighting conditions. There's also very minimal shutter delay, which I find it possible to take quick moving subjects such as pets. The Find X5 Pro's main camera retains good detail and a super image stabilization when shooting videos in low light. However, there is an annoying flicker that's rather consistent as it tries to adapt to different light source, which I believe is the work of the ISP, and OPPO should be able to improve that over a software update. It fortunately doesn't happen when shooting in good lighting. Despite being marketed as a pro camera phone, the Find X5 Pro unfortunately doesn't come with a pro video mode that lets you manually configure image settings. Although that's available in the movie mode, but that doesn't allow you to take videos in a 16:9 aspect ratio. Although the telephoto lens takes reasonably good photos and portraits, I am disappointed by the zoom range as most flagships of the same range would have already offered at least 5x optical zoom. That's one thing you'll want to take note if taking telephoto shots is your main priority. Last but not least, the 32-megapixel selfie camera is decent for flagship standards with a reasonably wide angle for group photos, but it's not the best that we have seen out there. Now, let's talk about other things on the OPPO Find X5 Pro. Aesthetically, the phone has a very nice heft to it and offers a really good grip. The camera bump is nicely blended onto the back of the glass instead of being a separate bump, and that's a really nice design update. I'm also glad that OPPO has also provided a nice matte rubber case in the box instead of those cheap transparent soft TPU cases. The phone is definitely a great fashion statement, and I think it is a hit turner when you are using it. The phone sports a really bright and colorful 6.7-inch LTPO AMOLED display that refreshes at 120Hz and supports 1 billion colors and HDR10+, while the stereo speakers sounded decent for movies with punchy bass and clear details. This is an excellent media consumption device that I can easily recommend. Performance is also decent with the Snapdragon 8 Gen 1 chip complemented by 12 gigs of RAM and 256 GB of storage. I didn't encounter any performance throttle when gaming for long durations, but it can get a little uncomfortable to hold due to the glass back. OPPO ships the Find X5 Pro with ColorOS 12.1 on top of Android 12, which comes with a fair bit of bloatware, but they can fortunately be uninstalled if you don't want them. The user experience is good and I don't encounter any lags throughout the review period. I am also very impressed with the system haptics that feels very crisp when I scroll through menus and adjust the volume. You can also configure how you want the haptic engine to feel in the settings as well. The Find X5 Pro is OPPO's first phone to ship with 80W Super Volt fast charging, which I really appreciate when I run out of battery in the middle of the day. Although I never managed to kill the 5000 mAh battery in a single day despite a moderate 3-hour screen on time, I'm usually left with around 25 to 30% of battery when I end my day, which is a typical battery life of a Snapdragon 8 Gen 1 device, and I consider that to be decent. Overall, the OPPO Find X5 Pro is an incredibly good flagship phone with very capable cameras. Although I still have to say that the Hasselblad partnership is still kind of gimmicky and doesn't really show consumers how useful that is in delivering a great camera experience. It is an expensive device for sure, and you are probably paying a portion of the price for the branding and marketing. But that's just how premium flagships are these days. So, after seeing what the Find X5 Pro's camera is capable of, will you still pick up a mirrorless camera or other flagships such as the iPhone 13 Pro or Galaxy S22 Ultra? Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. As for now, thanks for watching, get subscribed to the channel for more videos coming right up, and I'll talk to you guys in the next one.